got quite a lot of snow this weekend, but this was one time where I could not be mad at all.
No.
It was so nice.
It was
Saturday
stunning.
was a perfect snowy day. The conditions weren't too bad on the roads, on the sidewalks. I was going out for a walk, many others as well. It was perfect. It was just snowy and nice, but also it wasn't too cold out either. It was like right at that 32.
Right. I know that you were in Key West. Did you get back on Saturday?
Late Saturday night.
Okay, so you came back to a winter wonderland
Yes,
then.
it was so pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
it was
whimsical out there.
It was whimsical, magical, some could say.
Yes.
And, you know, it melted a little yesterday. We got a refresh overnight. More snow out there this morning as well. It continues to fall lightly in much of the state, especially in central and southern Maine. Now, if you're away from the coast, you probably didn't get too much overnight, but there's probably at least a fresh coating on your car. Along the coastline, we've seen several inches. I just saw one snowfall report, the only one I've seen from this morning so far, down in Biddeford, 3.5 inches there. So there have been some spots that have seen a few inches, but certainly not anything too significant, but certainly enough to keep roads slick. So here's a look at our satellite, our radar. You can see some of the steadier snow down in Massachusetts. That's been slowly spreading back into the state this morning. So while we had a little lull in the past hour or two, it does seem like snow has picked up at least a little bit. It's all thanks to this coastal storm. It brought snow to the south. Even Florida had accumulating snow yesterday. That has now moved all the way up into the Maritimes of Canada. It was just close enough to bring us some snow, not close enough for a significant winter storm. So for today, high temperatures getting into the low 30s. Snow tapers off this morning. A few scattered snow showers will continue though into the afternoon with high temperatures right around the freezing mark. Not too bad today. 32 in Portland, 29 in Bangor, 30 in Lewiston, 26 for the afternoon up in Rangeley. So let's take a look at our storm tracker. Light to moderate snow continues through the mid-morning hours. It really becomes quite scattered though as we head towards the afternoon. So many of us see it shutting off completely with just a couple flakes here and there as we head towards the afternoon. There may be one final burst of moderate snow with this little feature here as it swings through around lunchtime or in the early afternoon, but otherwise the afternoon should be pretty quiet. Couldn't rule out a snow shower, but most of us will probably just see overcast skies with highs around the freezing mark. Now today, not too bad with just the light snow out there, temperatures that aren't too frigid. Tomorrow, though, it does turn very cold, and it will be very cold again on Wednesday with our next chance of snow arriving Wednesday night. And then we've got to talk about late this week into the weekend. Some of the coldest temperatures in years since about February of 2023. If you remember, we had that one-day Arctic blast. We had a wind chill in Portland of 45 below zero. With that event, we are talking about something somewhat similar for this weekend. It's going to be really, really extremely cold. But before we get to that cold, we've got some cold to talk about for Tuesday. It won't be quite as extreme as what we're expecting this weekend, but certainly will not be warm tomorrow. Single digit below zero wind chills to start the day. They sort of stay there all day as we head into the afternoon. In the mountains, 10 to 15 below zero wind chills all through the day on Tuesday, and Wednesday looks pretty cold as well. Now, beyond that, we've got this really potent Arctic blast, which is looking increasingly likely for the weekend. Here's what we're expecting with that as of right now. Extreme cold looks to arrive Friday night. It will last all weekend, maybe even extending into next week as well. Highs in the single digits for the weekend, lows well below zero. So as I mentioned, 2023 in February was the last time we saw something quite of that caliber. Very dangerous wind chills are possible, maybe 30 to 40 below. Could be what we're talking about this weekend. So yeah, we've had cold this winter. We haven't had anything of this level yet. This is just taking it to a new extreme as essentially the polar vortex unloads on us here in New England and brings in some of that extreme cold for Saturday and Sunday. And I don't see any signs of this pattern changing very much next week. In fact, it may remain pretty cold all week. It probably won't be as extreme as the weekend, but it will be likely maybe the coldest week of the whole winter next week. So here's a look at our marine forecast. 3 to 5 foot seas today. Gale warning is in place. 7-day looking cold and wintry, especially by the weekend. There's 2 days that really stand out here, I'm sure you can see. Very cold Tuesday, but nothing we haven't dealt with. Same story Wednesday. Little snow Wednesday night, maybe a couple inches with that. Thursday, we'll enjoy one last day in the 30s because the Arctic freezer, the door slammed shut on us. Friday into Saturday, look at that high of 5. It's still just crazy to see that. 10 to 15 below zero at night for the weekend, even along the coast. Barely making it to 10 degrees. So
Good
Ouch.
grief. Yeah,
It's-
you see temperatures in the teens and it's like, oh, that's going to hurt.
Right.
Single digits.
That's just like,
Yeah.
there's just no getting around that kind
Yeah.
of like painful cold.
So we'll enjoy our 20s and 30s
Ooh,
throughout the week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christian. And now to this. It wasn't the prettiest of